Yeah.
All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello. Welcome back once again to Blame Your Brother. This is episode 199, one before episode 200, which will be a 24-hour stream on August 8th. So we're excited about that. We're excited to bring you this episode tonight. We've got some free Britney talk tonight. So if you've come for that, hang out with us for a little bit. We'll get to that probably about 8:20ish. But before that, we're going to do the show like we always do. And there are three of us that come to you every week. I am 1/3 of that trio. I am David, a.k.a. D. Brew, Voice of the People, Mr. 40%, Glenn Jackson, Spiritual Midget, the Dorito Man. And I'm joined by this gentleman over here, my brother who does not know what a chip is. It's Lee.
What up, everyone? It is the one and only LeBron safety pin.
And I'm sitting also over to the right of me is another man who apparently doesn't know what chips are. It's John.
John here, fun young man. Mr. Groupon, Mr. PTI, the madman.
They got John Tortorella, a madman.
They do have madman.
Okay, he's a madman.
All right, David Lee, John coming at you strong tonight for 199. That is right. So we're here, and we're just going to get to it because it has been all the talk on the internet. It is time for retractions, apologies, and omissions. A chance for us to undo the wrongs that may have been done on last week's episode, which featured the definitive list of chips. Okay. So Lee, with all that being said, just, no stance behind it. Do you have anything you need to apologize for?
Let John go first, actually.
Okay.
I do apparently have something to apologize for. Apparently, Pringles are not chips. They are potato crisps.
Okay. Funyuns are chips?
No one complained about those. That's what I don't get.
Okay, so
I really don't understand it.
let's just go back over. Okay, so last week, and we're just going to do a quick recap. We did our definitive list of chips, okay? Now, John had Funyuns, Pizzeria Pringles, Lay's Carolina Sweet Barbecue, and Utz Crab Chips. Lee had Flaming Hot Cheetos, Bugles, Combos Cheddar Cheese, and Miss Vicky's Jalapeno Chips. I had Nacho Cheese Doritos, Cool Ranch, who cares, Lay's Salt and Vinegar, and Wrap Snacks. My list is not very important. What is important is these two dudes right here. And let's just go to the internet. Let's go to Twitter, and I'll just read some of the comments. All right, from our friend Mandy in Canada. OMG, and Cheetos aren't chips either. Funyuns aren't chips. Bugles aren't chips. These are all separate comments. Bugles are not chips. And then it says, David's list is a good solid list, but it's clear that John is the real party animal here. From Leroy, our friend, that was from Barbaric Red. Leroy, our friend, says, any list with Little Romeo barbecue chips wins every single time. Then someone gave the definition of a chip, a small, thin, crisp, usually salty piece of food. Okay. So basically, only Dave's list is valid. That's from Mandy. And the list keeps on going. They were asking, where are the chili heat wave Doritos? I'm with David all the way. That's from Bree Smith at News Channel 5. So the list keeps going. I could just keep scrolling. But the point is they attacked your list because they said they were not chips. So do you apologize for it, or are you like, I don't care?
I think you and John are going to have to share a mic, evidently. John has no audio.
Oh, well, I mean,
That's weird.
worse things have happened. Some say that's a plus. So Lee's working on that. So I would just want to say, John, is your list or what?
I'm not changing it, no.
Okay, so there you go. So Lee, are you changing your list as you work through technical?
I'm not allowed to change my list. I've tried changing my list in the past.
But if you could go back in time, would you change your
Hell
list?
no, I wouldn't change my list. Why would I change my list? Because people don't know what a chip is?
Yeah, people don't know what a chip is. Our fans don't know what chips are.
Okay, is a square a rectangle? Okay, you can call a combo a snack. Okay, it's a rectangle. But okay, it's not a chip. Who cares? Is it in a chip bag? Do you buy combos in the chip bag?
I mean, a snack bag. I don't know if
a snack
what
bag.
What is
so
it?
does a snack bag and a chip bag look different?
What is a chip bag?
It's like foil wrapper. It's got a lot of air in it. You go into the convenience store, the grocery store, you go to the chip aisle.
You could argue the Pop-Tart snacks come in a chip bag, if you've seen those things. They look like combos, but they're Pop-Tarts. I mean, so we're
No, you can't. You cannot say that a Pop-Tart is a chip.
I have one at home. I have them at home. They look like a combo, but they're chocolate.
No.
Oh, bro. Okay, whatever.
So a lot of people say pretzels are not chips.
They're not.
Okay, well, I would say a pretzel is a chip. Even though, like we mentioned munchies, the pretzels are in the munchies. It's like a snack mix, like Chex Mix, got pretzels
Combos
in it.
are pretzels, though.
That's
so I
fine.
guess that's your
That's
argument.
fine.
Your argument is a square rectangle is a rectangle a square. That
Look, the point at the end of the day is, why does it matter? And the other question I have is, why are people so passionate about potato chips?
Why are we talking about it?
Why are we talking
because
about it? That's a good question.
Because it makes you not think about death at the end of the day, okay?
Is that why we're talking about chips?
That's why we talk about the things we talk about.
So the only thing that we can do about not thinking about death is argue about whether chips are chips or not.
Yeah. I mean, it works for me.
I don't.
Okay. Anything else you need to apologize
I don't know.
for?
John evidently doesn't have a working mic still. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know what to do about it.
Well, I don't know what to say about that, but is that true, chat room? Does John not have a working mic still?
Hello, everybody.
Well, you definitely can hear that on the podcast for sure. So, well, here's your chance. If you're missing John's audio, go grab the podcast tomorrow. You can hear it, fill in the blanks of everything that was not said. So, yeah. So I think that was a good one. Like I said, people got passionate about it. We like that. So thank you so much for engaging with us on social media. Unlike Lee, I encourage you to do it. I like it when people, engage and get involved with us. So yeah, when we're still working through the John audio, we've done this for 199 times at least, and we're still, as you know, if you do a podcast, it happens. There's technical problems. So I will go into it. John, I do got to say something. I will apologize, not for last week. We talked about Eddie Money a while back, the artist. He passed away. And at the time, I was very harsh on Mr. Eddie Money. I said, the guy was a hack. He only had one hit. And I'm sitting in my house the other night, and I'm kind of strumming on the guitar, and the song comes in my head, and it says, "Whatever will be, will be." And I was like, who sings that song? I was like, why is that song in my head for like an hour? And I Googled it, and some old song came up. Finally, I found it was Eddie freaking Money, and I went, man, John may have been right. This guy.
There's a lot of songs that people don't realize were his.
Okay, well, I don't understand who Eddie Money is, though, as an artist. What genre was Eddie Money in?
I mean, he came out at the very end of the 70s into the 80s, but it was that 80s sensibility.
Okay. So was he like an 80s pop rock guy or?
Yeah.
Okay.
In that vein.
Okay. Kind of like I don't know who he's compares to. Like, is he like a?
He's heavier, obviously, than your Hall & Oates, but I mean.
Okay.
But not quite as, not your hair bands.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry I disparaged the ghost who was apparently haunting me of Eddie Money. So I will apologize for that. And did he make the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or he didn't? I forget.
I think he's in it.
Okay. Well, that's still a mistake. But anyway, it's fine. We'll move on past it. So, yes, I do want to apologize for that. And I think we'll move on past this segment. So it looks like I'm flying solo here, which I kind of like. I like it being the David Show. So we are, like I said, we're going to be joined by a guest in a little bit, talk about Free Britney Spears. If you don't know anything about that, apparently there is a, I say theory, I don't want to say conspiracy theory, but kind of a conspiracy theory that Britney Spears is being held against her will, and there's all this proof, apparently. Any conspiracy theory, there's proof and there's not proof. So I don't know, about that. But what I will say is that my audio is not picking up right now, so I could really just be saying anything I want to right now, and it doesn't really matter. So I am going to, I don't want to say that because the audio picks back up in the middle of it. Oh, there we go. Okay. So yes, I'm back a little bit. So, all right. Yes, we're still getting through this. And yes, just a reminder, episode 200 will be here, and we're going to be doing this for 24 straight hours. So hopefully it'll go a little bit smoother than this. But I don't know. We shall see. So, all right. So there we go. Your audio is great. We can hear you. You think you fixed it?
I don't know.
Who knows, man?
Let's find out.
Okay. Can you hear John?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear our spirited debate about? We can hear David and Lee. So I don't know, man. I really don't know what to do. We're just going to have to keep moving on. If the live chat, when John talks, just imagine whatever you want him to say. I mean, that might be a joyous
Probably
occasion.
something better than what I'm actually saying.
So a quick rest in peace before we get into the guest. We did have Congressman John Lewis passed away this past week, and if you don't know who he was very instrumental in the civil rights movement. Marched many times, was arrested over 40 times for, just being part of protest in the civil rights movement. And he was a man that was recognized by the left and the right as a good person. One of his great quotes is, I think he said, if you're going to get into trouble, get into good trouble. Meaning, if you're going to get into trouble, make it for a good cause. If you're going to get arrested, be it for civil rights, don't go out and do stupid stuff. So the guy passed away, and I was sitting at my Twitter machine, as I always do, and I said, is Donald Trump going to tweet about this? And he finally did. So I was surprised. I would have taken the bet that he would not. But and Donald Trump this week has endorsed the mask. He's finally endorsed it. He said to wear the mask is patriotic, which I find very interesting. So we shall see if his minions follow him or not, because what I've understood now is they're really entrenched in not wearing masks, even though their leader has said to wear them. And we're going to see what happens with that. It's going to be fun to watch that these people now just believe it's do they believe this is a conspiracy theory? I don't know what they believe. Like, they believe these numbers are cooked, these people aren't dying, the hospitals aren't getting full. And it's rather just mind-blowing. It is the
biggest thing I've heard is people saying that the numbers are being inflated, that if one person gets tested positive, they're actually counting as 15.
Oh, God.
And so, yeah.
I know. It's just weird. I mean, the thing people ask, you know anybody that's gotten it? I'm like, well, I mean, not personally. No, I don't. But I haven't been around many people. It's the age-old question. Do you have any friends that are this race or this sex, or anybody that's this or that? And I'm like, dude, I don't have many friends at all. So, I mean, you're asking me, do I know anybody? Not really. I don't know a lot of people. So, but table keeps, man, we're having all kinds of technical issues here. Lee's about to fall apart over here. He storms out on 199. He's like, I'm done. So, but yes, it'd be curious to see that Trump did tweet something out about the mask. So as the COVID continues to rise in Florida, California, Texas, all these places have just said, we're not going to wear the mask. I don't know what else we can do with these states. Like, I really seriously have no idea. It's so bizarre to me. And I'd almost rather just be a moron at this point, because I think at the point in your life where you admit that you have to deal with dummies all the time, it's kind of overwhelming.
It's kind of like when you have to babysit somebody, when you go out, you and your buddies, and you're the DD.
Yeah.
You're the only one that's sober.
Yeah.
It's kind of the way it feels.
Yeah, it is. You're right. I agree with you. It hurts, that people are just ingrained in these things, and I don't understand why. And John Oliver, who I love, has been putting out some great content on his this week with John Oliver. He addressed the coronavirus conspiracy theory thing and how they got a lot of their information from this one documentary that was cooked up. I forget what it's called, but it's something ridiculous that I really don't even want to say the name where people will go watch it. But I think it's called Plandemic, which, oh, wow, so clever there. But they read one thing on the internet and they accept that as like a reality. And I've always said, like, if you look at 100 doctors, 99 are being like, yeah, it's real, and one's not. What world do you like? Yeah, that one, man, he's got to be the dude that's telling the truth. I don't understand it. I mean, I'm confused about it. So I don't know. Trump has had a week. Kanye West has had a week, which we can't obviously get into today because that would be a whole episode. But I would just say for Kanye, I hope he gets the help he obviously needs. He's obviously going through some kind of manic episode, and I guess him and Kim Kardashian are apparently about to get a divorce. And I was at home watching all of his tweets when it happened, and it was like 50 tweets, and they were just...
It's still happening, man. What are you talking about?
I know, but I was there the night it like kicked off. And I was like, what is happening right now with this guy?
Did you see the Dave Chappelle video? That was bizarre.
Why is Dave Chappelle giving people high fives anyway? On top of that, that's what I took away from that video. So Dave Chappelle goes down to see Kanye. Kanye say, tell a joke, man. Don't you know one thing you don't tell a comedian is like tell a joke? That's like, it's so hacked.
Lift our spirits, brother.
He's like, I can't do that. I don't tell those kind of jokes. And I was like, oh boy. And then some dude walks so this is being filmed on like a phone or something, and some dude just walks halfway into the frame and like gives Dave Chappelle a high five. And I was like, oh, no. High fives we don't do that anymore. That's almost like, that's like certain words you don't do that anymore, man. That's a big no about that. So I don't know. I hope the man finds the piece he's looking for. Obviously, I mean, he still says he's running for president, but dude, you're not on the ballot on any of the states. I mean, I think he's on like one ballot. And your friend Brandon is like, watch the whole video. And I watched like 20 minutes of his presidential debate video or whatever. It's not a debate. It was a rally. And
he didn't even have a microphone.
When he said, no microphone for
I'll
him.
tell you what was super weird about the video for me was there was no official video that I could find. I don't know, maybe you found the official video, but all the videos I found were just like people holding up cameras on Instagram or YouTube.
I think there's one.
I don't think that there was. I went and looked for a good solid 10 minutes and was like, I don't want to watch someone's like YouTube video from their phone.
Maybe that's what I was watching.
Like, I want the official, like, I'm going to give Kanye. I'm going to give Kanye the benefit of the doubt and see like the real stuff.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find it. So even if it is out there, it's hard to find, first off. But yeah, it's just no microphone. The guy's wearing a security vest, which is whatever. Like, he doesn't have.
He's wearing a bulletproof vest.
A bulletproof vest that's like camo, like tactical vest, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, he doesn't have Secret Service to protect him. But then there's a can of mace in one of the loopholes in the front. It's like, Kanye, what are you doing? Like, he's lost his damn mind. And then the video is him crying for 40 minutes about abortion. It's like, Kanye, get yourself together. And then he starts getting in fights with the crowd. And then he gets mad and storms off. It's like, Kanye, man. Like, nobody is going to.
Look, you can have your opinions about certain things, but some of those things you got to keep to yourself. You cannot, and I'm a white man, but I, as a white man, cannot go to a crowd of, I know that's surprising, all you listeners, but I cannot go to a crowd of people and say, Harriet Tubman did not free those slaves. She gave them to white people where they could keep working. He said that. I'm like, bro, you can't say stuff like, even if that was based in reality, which I don't know that necessarily is, but if that was based in reality, that's not the proper place to reveal that information, so I don't know, man. Kanye is a mess right now, obviously. And I think, as we talk to the Britney Spears person in just a little bit, I think there's a lot of trappings with fame that people, I mean, you see someone like Kurt Cobain didn't want the fame, and there's probably a reason for that because of all the pitfalls that come with it. I mean, once you hit a certain status, like Britney Spears or Kanye West or whoever, Taylor Swift, any of those people, your life is gone. Like, even Miley Cyrus, is a good example because she had a episode on Black Mirror about that, the trappings of fame. And then once you start having these breakdowns, no one's giving you a break.
And here's what I'm saying. Like, when I say tear down the statues, like, we need to stop all this hero worship. Hollywood is one of the pillars of ruin in this country, in this world. You say that these people sacrifice their lives. Why should anyone have to sacrifice their life for anything? And like, I understand, like, if I was put in the same position to be that much power and that much money, I'd probably say, sure, take it. But we shouldn't put people in those positions. And honestly, like you said, Kim Kardashian was gonna, I'm not a Kim Kardashian fan, let me just say it, but she released something. I don't know if she wrote it. Obviously, she has a press team, but it was a very well written piece. Yeah. That was, I mean, she didn't say anything about divorce. She was just saying, hey, Kanye has bipolar. If you've had to be in a relationship or had a family member that is bipolar, you would understand, because these people, you cannot help these people. They have to make the decision to help them. It's just like addiction. Until that person is ready to help themselves, there is nothing that anyone else can do. And, I don't know if this is true, but the rumor is that Kanye went off of his medication. Yeah. So, whatever.
All right, well, we're about to be joined by Kristen, who is going to be our Britney Spears expert. So we're going to let her in the Zoom chat room here. And this is why Lee has been going nuts, because he's a little bit apprehensive this is going to work. But there she is, if she can hear us. Hello. Hey, how's it going? Look at that shirt. I like it. So,
oh, yeah.
All right, so we're here with Kristen. And so somebody on Instagram said we need to talk about it. And so they referred me to you. They said you were the person that could, guide us in that. So for people who don't know, I was trying to explain to my two co-hosts. So I'm David, that's Lee's over here, and I got John with me. I don't know if John's microphone works or not, but that'll be fine. But how would you explain to them the Free Britney thing? Just go ahead and give like the whole.
Or maybe introduce yourself first and give us background on why you're a Britney Spears expert, perhaps.
Sure. I'm not an expert on many things, but I will, if I am known as Nashville's Britney Spears expert, I'll take it. I'm not certain what qualifies me for that title other than that I've just been a super fan since 1998. And I'm about the same age as Britney, grew up watching her and wanting to be her, and have pretty much followed her story since the beginning. My name is Kristen Linton. I am a Spanish teacher by trade. And I'm just a big fan, but also concerned about kind of like what y'all were talking about, like hero worship. I mean, Britney's whole saga could be studied from many lenses. I mean, from, the lens of hero worship, the lens of feminism, the lens of motherhood, like any number of those things. And what the Free Britney movement is just a movement started by her fans who are concerned about the conservatorship that she has been under since 2008.
So let's first off, I want to set the scene for the people that might not have the video at home, but you're wearing a Britney Spears sweater. Yeah. Very awesome. You have also Britney Spears, what do you call those? Votive
these
candles?
Are like, saint candles, but it's Britney and Dolly, the two patron saints of my home.
Okay, so let's get into this. I don't know what you want to call it, a conspiracy, if you want to call it real life, but basically give us the story as you see it up to this current point.
Sure. Well, the conspiracy theories are a whole other rabbit hole. If you want to go down that one, that's deep and dark and, not grounded in a lot of facts. But the conservatorship is real. And it's probably one of the most strict legal holds on a person who has their mental and physical capacities. So everyone, who grew up in the 90s and came of age in the early 2000s remembers that Britney Spears rose to fame as a pop star and then quickly crumbled in the mid 2000s when she had a meltdown. She was seen running around Los Angeles, speaking in British accents, nearly dropping her child. And this was deemed like a meltdown or a psychotic break. And it came to a head in 2008 when she went to a barber shop and shaved her head. And then also she locked herself in a bathroom at I think it was at her friend's house. It might've been her house. She locked herself in there with her children, and she was being threatened that her children would be taken away. So there was some concern about whether she was on drugs or taking some sort of medicine. And like helicopters were called to the scene and ambulances. And it was a whole Hollywood TMZ kind of OJ car chase, ambulance chase to the hospital. And she was hospitalized for several months. And that's when the conservatorship was decided. And a conservatorship is normally what someone is put under when they don't have the physical or mental capacities to take care of themselves. It's usually for someone who is physically impaired to the point where they can't move, or they are mentally impaired to the point where they can't take care of themselves in any sort of way. So this is usually for people who are extremely ill. They either have dementia, don't have their memory, or they are disabled to the point where they don't have their physical capacities. Now, since 2008, Britney Spears has been on tour. She has launched a perfume that has made billions of dollars. Her net worth sits at like $250 million. She's held multiple residencies in Las Vegas. So this is not someone who is, incapable of earning an income. But she's been under that conservatorship from 2008. And there are two types of conservatorships. There's one that is for your person, and there's one that's for your estate. And up until recently, her dad, Jamie, was the conservator of both her person and her estate. Recently, there was Kevin Federline, Britney's ex-husband, filed a restraining order against Britney's father for a physical altercation that happened with their son. And so Jamie Spears, Britney's dad, now is not allowed to see the grandson, which means that Britney cannot see him either. If she normally has to be with her dad in order to see her kids. So now that there's the restraining order against Jamie, her custody is even more limited. So now Jamie is not the conservator. They have a hired conservator who is the conservator of her person. And Britney has been trying to get out of that. And she there was a Zoom court date yesterday. So that's what her fans have been sort of trying to support and speaking out with the hashtag Free Britney. And it started mostly with a kind of an anonymous phone call to a fan podcast called Britney's Gram. And that's where fans started to become concerned about her well-being. And that's where the Free Britney movement started.
I mean, so this sounds like something out of a scary movie, like where you get committed and you can't escape from the asylum.
Right.
But, I mean, how does this happen? I mean, what steps were taken by anyone? How does this happen to an adult that, like you said, there's nothing wrong with them? Is there any reasoning because of one breakdown, or was there more that they're saying?
No, that's a good question. I think that's what everybody is asking. And I mean, how I tend to sniff out a story is like, who benefits. So in this instance, it seems like this is a money situation. That seems to be pretty clear to me, but no one has really come out and said that. If you go back to the mid 2000s, when Britney was beginning to show her, signs of mental deterioration or exhaustion, whatever you want to call it. You also have to remember she had 2 kids back to back within 18 months of each other. That could cause postpartum. She was very young when she had her kids. Any number of things could have caused this. And I think if this were to happen now, we would treat this very differently. But this is a girl who was, working since she was on the Mickey Mouse Club when she was 10 years old, that didn't get a break. And she was asking for some time off, essentially. And I think, you are a cash, cow for an entire operation of people. And you start saying that you want to take some time off. I think that scares people that make a lot of money. If she really is mentally impaired or physically impaired and can't perform or, really needs to be under this conservatorship, then why is she making, going on campaigns to launch a perfume? Why is she on the X Factor? Why was she on, a guest star on episodes of How I Met Your Mother? All of that was going on while she's under the conservatorship. So it doesn't make a lot of sense.
I've got to jump in there. So I saw online, there was a person that was like, hey, Britney, if you need help, wear a yellow shirt. And then in the next photo shoot, she's wearing the yellow shirt, and then people started losing their mind. So is there any foundation of this? She's sending out secret signals. I mean, obviously you probably follow her on social media. You probably looked at the hashtags. Is this a legit thing? Is she actually, trying to subtly ask for help, or is this just a coincidence that has spun out of control?
So Britney does love to wear peasant tops, like crop peasant tops, and many times they are yellow. So cryptically putting a message in an Instagram post where typically hundreds of thousands of people comment. Did she see the post? Possibly. Was the post posted? Yes. Did she wear a yellow shirt the next day? She did. So, take that as what you want. I don't know that she was following that message. I don't even know that she's completely in control of her social media. Part of the conservatorship is that she doesn't have access to her phone all of the time, that she has to ask permission to make phone calls, to buy things. She can't drive her car. She, I think, has made something like a $6,000 a month kind of, not salary, what do we call that? Like an allowance.
Yeah, like allowance, yeah.
Yeah, she has an allowance. Basically, everyone in her life has to be vetted. Her boyfriend, Sam Asghari, seems like a lovely person. He cares about her, but I also believe that he is paid by the estate. That's how he makes money. So he's sort of on the payroll.
Tell me he makes less than $6,000, right?
I don't know what his deal is, but it is, and all of this is like, it's not necessary. It's not like published knowledge. These are what people who work for Britney have said and what like fans have compiled. So, it makes sense that the people around her would be extremely vetted, and it makes sense that her boyfriend would not necessarily be someone that she picked. Like it would be someone, she met him on the set of a music video that she was performing in, and he's he's an actor and a model, and he's definitely benefiting from being her boyfriend. I think that they care about each other, but that's kind of a tricky situation. She did, this is, gets into the conspiracy theories a little bit. She posted a few days ago a picture of her eyes close up, and she said something on the post like, eyes are the window to the soul. This photo is not photoshopped, but in her eyelashes, like you could see spelled out, call 911. So people were, you can check it out. Go to her Instagram page, and it's, that's
not a conspiracy. That's straight up call 911.
It's like blurry though. So, you have to look for it, but she's so extra in her description of the post. You're like, what are you talking about? And then you kind of, I zoomed in, and it's like, yeah, it does on like the left eye. Is that right? You're reading left to right. Yeah. Call, and then 911 in the bottom eyelashes. So,
but how would someone even write call 911 in their eyelashes? That's some artful mascara work, right?
It would be some artful or some post-production work. I don't know. She has a lot of time on her hands. She's
I don't know. So I get that. I get that idea of like, hey, Britney, wear yellow, because, like you said, obviously she doesn't have access to social media. So, but if she has time to like go Photoshop her eyelashes, then hand it off, I don't know. Maybe. Are there any other like juicy things that have been posted
like the
at that
conspiracy
point?
theories? The conspiracy theories are there's like that she's been mind controlled by MK Ultra, that she's like
do you have any
a
details
beta
on
kitten
that one?
sex slave, there's like all of these things. Yeah, no. And those are juicy and interesting, but sometimes like the truth is scarier than fiction. And that is that a capable woman who makes billions of dollars doesn't have access to her money or her kids, and she has to ask permission to live her life, essentially. She can't even hire a lawyer without permission. So she can't hire a lawyer to help her get out of this conservatorship.
So what can we do? Like if we wanted to help Britney Spears, because like you said, the truth is stranger than fiction, right? What can people do? Do you have any results from the court case? Did it go well? Did it not go well? If it did or did not, what can an average person even do to help Britney at this point?
Well, the court case the appeal was via Zoom. So Britney was at home and she was supposed to Zoom in, but she had some technical difficulties.
How convenient.
Right. How convenient. Exactly. So that's another thing that the fans were saying. This technical difficulty is bizarre because she was having no problem posting on Instagram, which is why other people are saying, like, does she even have control of her Instagram? And then there was this other, side conspiracy that there was a person on Reddit was asking about if there's a cell phone jammer in your house, can you tell if there's a jammer? And this person was posting on Reddit saying, I am a woman in my 30s who's under a conservatorship. I mean, it was like,
My
you know, this
initials are
person,
BS.
my initials are BS. I'm a pop star. No, it wasn't that specific, but people were like, it's Britney, or someone posing as Britney. You know, you can't take these things too seriously. But she did have technical difficulties. She couldn't get in to defend herself, and so they've postponed the next hearing to August, I believe. Yeah, it's next month. So I will follow that. That will likely also be over Zoom because everything's shut down in California. But fans were out there, you know, with Free Britney signs and, you know, socially distancing themselves, wearing masks. But there's two podcasts that you can follow that are great. There's the Britney's Gram, which are two comedians, two ladies that do a great job, and they're the ones who really exposed the Free Britney, or started the Free Britney movement because of their podcast. And then there's Eat, Pray, Britney, which is another podcast done by two women that's really good. And, you know, I think you can follow the Free Britney hashtag, and you can, you know, send support to her via her social media, and investigate conservatorships and see if there's, you know, anyone in your community that might also be under similar constraints. Although I have never heard this is the strictest conservatorship that has ever been over a person who is not incapable, like mentally or physically, you know, impaired. So
Yeah, I mean, it's very wild. Now I want to go back in time.
Mm-hmm.
So personal story, 1998-ish or 99, Britney Spears came to Nashville. She went to a downtown bar. She got kicked out for underage drinking or something. And I thought in my head at the time, if I could have just run into Britney Spears, I could have saved her from all this. But that, to say,
Sure. Yeah.
but
What's your plan on that one?
You know,
Yeah.
it's Back to the Future Part 4.
You and her in denim?
Yeah,
What?
there we go. But the question I ask is, so you're a lifelong Britney Spears fan. I am a Britney Spears fan, not as deep as you are, but I've always, you know, liked her. But when do you think her life went off the rails? If you had to pick like the moment in time where things just fell apart for her, is there a specific moment you have? Is it when her and Justin ended? Is it when she met, I can't remember the guy's name, Kevin Federline? Do you have a moment where it kind of just, you think it started?
You know, I mean, honestly, it probably goes back to her Mickey Mouse Club days. You know, you start to hear about these kids, and you know, I don't think that that's really a healthy environment. She never knew a normal childhood. So I think that everything that happened probably was a culmination of all of the expectations and demands that were put on her from being a child performer. And also, she was the family breadwinner. You know, she is the family breadwinner. Her dad was a contractor. Her mom was a substitute teacher, and they lived in, you know, a pretty modest means in Kentwood, Louisiana. And she, you know, it showed an interest in singing and dancing, and she was really good. Britney is an amazing dancer, or was an amazing dancer. She was a really good singer when she was a kid. Her voice has changed considerably, but she had a huge voice as a kid, and she was, you know, on Broadway as an understudy. And, you know, then she went to the Mickey Mouse Club, and, you know, I don't think she ever intended to do this as long as she has. I mean, she actually has said that she, I think, wanted to make money. And then around 2004, 2005, she started saying that she wanted to have kids and she wanted to move back to Kentwood, Louisiana. I think she would have been perfectly fine with that. But like I said before, I think, you know, how do you, if you are a team of people that are cashing in on a $250 million estate, that's not something that you want to end. Yeah.
Well, no, there's a really good movie by Shia LaBeouf, however you say his name. It's called Honey Boy, and it examines his life. He grew up as a breadwinner of his family, and it's a lot of the same themes you're talking about. So if people haven't seen it, you should go check it out. But it is, I mean, that happens. You know, it happened to Colin McCalkin. He had to, you know, get separated from his parents. So, yeah, you're right. They are set up, you know, basically to fail at that point. I don't know. So you're a Britney Spears fan. So what are like 3 of the best Britney Spears songs according to you?
That's that's tough. Well, obviously, "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time" is just
Okay.
like you hear that, "da-na-na," and we all know it's like
Yeah,
time to
okay.
party.
That's a good
So
one.
that's it. Top. Then there's she has this kind of like this track that she tried to drop on her own called Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is an interesting kind of conspiracy or deep dive if you want to. It's a good song. It didn't make it on any of her albums, but she wanted to release an album called Original Doll, and it was her own concept. It was kind of one of the last things that she had control over, and she drove to the main pop station in Los Angeles and released the single and interviewed. And her team did not like that at all, and they pretty much like buried that album. Apparently, she's been trying to release it on her own for some time, but she can't. So that song, that album, that whole concept has a special place in my heart, just as someone who cares about her being able to represent herself in the way that she wants to, because so much of her career has been controlled. So I do love that song.
If you play the album backwards, it says "Free Me."
Right.
Okay.
It says "Free Britney."
There you go.
Right. Yeah. And then I love "Stronger." I love "Toxic" is so great. I mean, all good. But honestly, her best album, like if you want to talk about her being an artist and having a vision for the future of music, her Blackout album, which didn't get a lot of attention because that's when she was having her issues and the conservatorship was coming up. Her Blackout album is probably solidly the best music and most forward future thinking album. So everything on that is really interesting and really good.
There you go. I mean, I think "Toxic" is, I mean, I know people think it's a pop song, but it is an amazing song. There's a lot going on instrumentation wise. It is it's a banger of a jam. You know, where so much like rock bands have covered it like all over the place.
Yeah.
It's a good song. So, you know,
it is a jam.
I mean, so back in like 98, 99, me and John, we lived together. And so we, you know, this was the age of pop stars, you know? And so I said, you know, Britney Spears is my girl. And John went with Christina Aguilera. So, you know, whatever, you know, we know who picked right on that one. Right?
I don't see any free Christina things out there.
And we'll see.
Touche.
So, yeah. So
Well, I'll go with the skater girl. Who was that?
Oh God.
Avril Lavigne?
Avril Lavigne has a really good conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Wow, people thought she was dead. Okay.
Well, I mean, she is. She has like that clone or whatever.
She might be a clone, yeah.
So anyway, body double. I don't know.
So, I got a question about this conservatory thing. Do you think the fact that her parents were managing things even when she was younger made it easier for them to put this on her and to be able to maintain control over her?
Yeah, I think, well, her mom has pretty much stepped away from it, and you know, I don't think you don't even see them together that frequently. Her mom has pretty much stayed in Louisiana. Her dad has had a hand in the situation for a long time. I would imagine that that creates for some pretty contentious family time. It seems like Britney and her dad have some issues. There was a documentary, kind of a docuseries that came out called For the Record, when Britney was starting her circus tour, and her dad is heavily featured in it. And they have kind of like a playful relationship, but you also can kind of see some of the tension as he is her conservator. It's also really weird to think about how young Britney was and how overtly sexual she was sort of, I don't know if it's forced. I mean, she was like 14, 15 when she started performing. And there are some criticisms to how her dad and her mom were involved in that, you know, and the conversations around Britney's sexuality. Not that there's anything wrong with, you know, a woman empowering herself through that, but it is very strange. Like, as someone who has been a high school Spanish teacher, a teacher of children, there is something to be said for putting boundaries on your kids while they're growing up, especially if they're in the public eye in that way. So I think that there's a weird dichotomy between trying to protect your kid from, harmful looks and manipulation, and then also, making a lot of money off of her.
Yeah, no, it's creepy. I mean, it's no different. And it was a lot like Jessica Simpson's dad was this creepy guy, like saying these creepy things about his daughter. And you're like, what are you doing? So
right.
Yeah, definitely, you're right. 14, 15, 16, even 17. Like that's just, and I think reading about Mandy Moore, I guess they were trying to get her to do that. And she's like, no, I'm good. I'm not going to do this anymore. So she kind of bowed out. But I guess she had the parents that would let her do it. You're right. If you had parents that are like, no, we're going to keep doing this because you're making us money, you don't really have much of a choice in it,
Has her sister,
right.
Jamie Lynn Spears, has she come out and said anything about this?
Yeah. So actually, she released a statement. It must have been yesterday, I think, as the court hearing was going on. She also kind of weighed in on Kanye. She talked about mental illness, and it seemed a little bit like a jab at Britney and how can the public possibly know what someone's mental health issues are. And the fans of the Free Britney movement, like none of us believe that we have any right to information about her medical history. That's not we don't need to know what medicine she's on. We don't need to know about her mental health. We just want, a woman who's 38 years old to be able to have access to, the fruits of her labor. Like she should be able to spend her money how she wants to and see her kids. Jamie Lynn has supported her sister, but she's not out there hashtagging Free Britney. It was interesting that when this movement took off, Lynn Spears, Britney's mom, was liking the Free Britney hashtags on Twitter and on Instagram. She was putting liking them and putting smiley faces and not saying much but showing support in that way. So that kind of gave fans the okay to keep going forward. People like Cher have spoken out, in favor of the Free Britney movement. Miley Cyrus has been really supportive. Rose McGowan. It's been interesting to see all of the people that who are in Hollywood that have some experience with Hollywood manipulation, who are saying this is not right. This girl, this woman, deserves to have access to her life. The other piece of the puzzle that's really messed up is that she does have to take. I mean, she's given medicine that she supposedly does not necessarily want to take, and that's why she was hospitalized last January. So we didn't hear from her or see her on social media for about 30 days. And when she did exit the hospital, she was her shoes weren't on. She looked kind of sedated and out of it. It seems like she is on some pretty heavy medications. That's a speculation. And again, it's none of my business to know what that is, but she should be able to decide what she wants to take and what she doesn't.
Oh, definitely.
So,
yeah.
I have a request just as we wrap this up. Could you potentially say something like help free Britney Spears in 2020, hashtag free Britney Spears in Spanish, just so that we can get it out to a larger audience? And then kind of share your social media with people.
I got one more. I got one more question before you do that. And this is really, it's more important than anything. Can you defend? I'm gonna let you drink first because you may laugh. Can you defend? Can you defend the double denim look of her and Justin Timberlake?
Absolutely. That was a dream costume outfit. I mean, that still lives. You still see that on Halloween for couples costumes.
For sure.
But can you defend it? It was a good look. That's your statement. It was a good look.
Yeah.
I think anytime that something lasts beyond a moment, we're talking about this outfit in July of 2020, and she wore that in 2002 maybe? 2001? Was that a pre-September 11th outfit? That was a different time. That was a hopeful, pre-COVID, pre-September 11th, joyful time. I will stand by the double denim look.
All right, I'm glad we got that
jealous.
out.
You're just jealous.
I'm glad we got it out in the open. So okay, so you won't hurt.
So hit us with the Spanish, and then if you have any social media, maybe if anyone has any Britney Spears questions or comments, they can.
Yes, please. Yeah, we need Libre a Britney 2020. My socials are Kristen Linton. That's my Instagram. If you want to see pictures of dogs and updates on Britney, that's what you'll find there. And my Twitter is Donia Kristen, DONA KRISTEN. And yeah, that's hashtag Free Britney. Follow that hashtag and enjoy all the deep dive into the MK Ultra and beta kitten sex slave information that you would ever want to find.
All right. Well, Kristen, you have been amazing. I want to thank Sarah for setting this up. I'm glad she sent you our way. We're not.
You're so welcome.
Yeah, you've been great. And we will continue to monitor. If anything big happens, you may have to come back on and share updates with us.
I would love it. Anything to help Britney.
Okay, sounds good. We'll have a good night, and let's pray for Britney, and we'll see what happens.
Sounds good. Thanks, y'all.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye. So there we go. That was Kristen Linton talking about Free Britney. Fantastic, man. She knows her stuff. It was fantastic. It was great. So, yeah, we're moving on. That was it. So what'd you guys think about all that? It was pretty wild, right? Did you know about any of this?
I do not know what a beta kitten sex slave is, but that piqued my interest. I might have to go look that hashtag up later just to get deep in that. I do know what MK Ultra is. That was the government doing LSD experiments on people. That I do know. But
we've had the chat's been blowing up. I wish I could have read it all. But Jason Steen wraps up. This may be the best show ever. So I mean, you can take that for what it is, even if they can't hear John.
That's probably why it's the best show ever.
And I don't know who Bryn Daniels is, but she's been bringing the knowledge. And her thing, I was talking about the Black Mirror episode. She said the Miley Cyrus Black Mirror episode is rumored to be about Britney Spears. So if you haven't seen that, get on Netflix, watch the Miley Cyrus Black Mirror episode. It's really good anyway, but it is about the trappings of a pop star, and it's nuts if you watch Black Mirror. So yeah, we're on a list now for being on this. That's probably true. I don't know. So there we go. We talked about Kanye. We talked about Trump. We hit our quota. We talked about Britney Spears, and this table keeps following. And so I guess, do we have time for Dear John? I can give John my microphone.
I can give him my mic too.
I'll give him my microphone.
Well, we should give him both our mics.
Because everyone says, David, you talk too much during the Dear John. So why don't we just go ahead, and it's time, after all that Britney Spears talk, it's time for Dear John.
Dear John. Dear John, by the time you read these lines, I'll be gone.
This one comes in. Dear John, I'm in love with a boy who barely notices me. I've talked to my friends about this and they tell me it's just a crush, but I've never felt this way about anyone before. Whenever I see him, I have to catch my breath in my throat and butterflies dance in my belly. I could never bring myself to ask him out on a date. I'm too much of a lady for that, but I don't know what to do. I've tried dropping subtle hints, but it never seems to work, or maybe they are too subtle. Where do I go with this, John? From Lovely.
Well, the thing is, either you're being too subtle or he's not into you. That's it. So either you need to up your ante and really make it obvious, or move on.
How would one make it obvious? Like, obviously, I think she feels like she couldn't bring herself to ask him out on a date. Maybe that's like a conservative old-time view, maybe. But what does she do?
Flirt with him.
Like, give us some examples of that, I guess. I don't know.
Just hang around him when he tells a joke, whether it's funny or not. Laugh, touch his arm, little things like that.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
David, do you want the mic back? I don't know.
I figured this would go off the rails without me here. Or you can take your mic back. It'll be on the podcast, but the chat room won't hear it. All right, look here, lady. The guy is obviously not into you. Get over it. I mean, you've already dropped the hints. Here's the thing about guys, okay? I'm going to just make this real. If we had misogyny, we'll hit it or whatever. If a guy is into you, you will know. Okay, they will let you know very quickly. Okay, Lee. Oh no, they won't. Yes,
I'm just
they
saying,
will.
like, look, I've read online where people were like, it went over their head.
Men
aren't the most perceptive people in the world.
Social media. It must be true.
Look,
I've been around many guys and girls. You always know. Like, your friends will tell you. If you don't know, your friends will go, hey, man, that dude is into you or that girl is into you. John, you agree on that, right?
For the most part.
Yes. So
all I'm saying is life is too short. Stop with the subtle hints.
Then invite him.
Just come out and be direct.
What she's not going to ask himself out on a date, but you could ask him out on an outing. Just say, do you want to go get coffee sometime? That's not technically a date.
Come on.
It's not a date, though.
You want to go on a friendly coffee? That's the wrong. Even if that's the direction you want to go, it's the wrong direction she should take. She should be very direct and forward with
she
what
does
she
not
wants.
want to ask him out.
It is your life. You should seize the day. You should seize your moment and shoot your shot. Okay.
Here's what you need to do. You need to go up to him and say, look, I need a guy's perspective. I'm going to a party or something. I need somebody to tell me what I look good in. I need you to be my eyes. You're spending the day with him. It's like a date, but it's not. Then you're posing in front of him. I'll get the gears flowing.
It's kind of bad. It sends the wrong message. He might be like, okay, she's
okay.
unavailable.
Then you know
she's
what?
dating some other guy.
Take his ass to Victoria's Secret. Get into the freaking changing room and just get it on, Lee. Is that what you want us to say, man? We've tried everything short of hump his brains out, man. I don't know what you want us to say.
I'm just saying, my idea gives it gets the point across, but it still leaves that little level where she's not asking him out.
Here's the problem with John.
Here's the problem with you, Lee. There's no blackmail. There's no extortion. There's nothing you can't hang something over and say, hack into his emails, get his emails, blackmail him.
If you're interested in a guy, you don't approach him like you're gonna date someone else. That's
yes,
silly.
It works.
It's silly.
It works.
It's silly.
I never said she was dating somebody. I said she was going to a party. That's way different. Then if she does, it was like, the party was canceled, but I'd love to wear that outfit for you.
So what is the foundation of a good relationship?
Okay, I'm going to
communication and honesty.
Wrap this up with Lee. So
communication
you want
and
a
honesty.
blackmail option? Okay, you take him to Victoria's Secret. You get all of his clothes off in the dressing room. Then you snap pictures of him. You go, if you don't go out with me, I'm going to send these to our entire wherever she's at, school, work, whatever. Does that work for you, Lee? Yay, that's it. Blackmail him with nude pictures of himself. John, what do you think?
That's a great idea.
All right, wrap it up.
Either he's not into you or you're not being forward enough. Guys can be pretty thick, but you need to.
Is that PHICC?
Anyway,
boy, you thick.
Anyway, but yeah, I would put it in a position where you have the opportunity to make yourself look better, and also be one-on-one. That's my take on it. You can take my advice or you can leave it.
There you go. That's Dear John. All right, so that is Dear John, and hey, the live chat heard John's advice, so there you go. And so much, once again, Kristen was amazing, great guest. Hopefully, we'll have her back on because I would like to follow this. This is literally one of those movies I watch where I'm like, oh, dude, this dude's stuck in the nut house for the rest of his life and he can't get out. It's always scary. But thanks so much for coming on the program. Thanks for all of you guys hanging out in the chat room. And like we say, there will not be an episode next week. We are taking the week off because the week after that, episode 200. And let me just run down right now some of the guests that will be on episode 200, which is a 24-hour stream. Some of the guests include Rusty G, Bree Pro, Corey H, Rock Candy Podcast, Haley Wilgus, Raquel Red, Not Playing Stupid, Half Pint, Next Up on Next Door, Adam Cox, Michael Anthony, Elizabeth Donaldson, Trapper Hoskins, Mixtape Minx, Jason Steen, our boy, Amanda Gentry, The Champagne Way, Becky Warren, Shane Moore, Shauna H, Jimmy Fitzgerald, Jen Star Cynic, Savannah Shaver, Josh Roberson, Brooke Jolly, who's in the chat, Adam Hewitt, who was in the chat, Bourbons and Blonde, and the Sobros Network. And who knows, I may have missed somebody, but episode 200 is going to be fantastic. We hope you guys can hang out with us with some of it. It will be streamed live at blameyourbrother.tv, YouTube, all those good places. We're looking forward to it. Follow us on social media. I'm getting choked up over here. Follow us up on social media where you can be part of that event.
Just ask the guy out.
Yeah, just ask the guy out. But yes, it's happening. It's very soon, and I'm very excited about it. I know John is. Lee, what's your excitement level for 200 right now? That's about right. But before you do that, you need to go check out all of our past episodes, and you do that by going to bybpod.com. That's bybpod.com. It's our website, all past episodes, articles, social media links to buy merchandise. You want to buy one of our shirts, leave a voicemail, leave an email, do it all. Tell all your friends about it. Spread the word on social media. And with all that being said, Lee, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.
I'm Donald Trump.